The official story is that Viktor Reznov, the hero of Stalingrad and leader of the Vorkuta uprising, died during his escape from Vorkuta. The CIA file on him simply reads deceased. We see him drive a truck into an ambush to save Alex Mason, saying, "For you, Mason, not for me."
For you, Mason, not for me, Reznov!
It's a neat, tragic end for a legendary soldier. And that's a story we've accepted for over a decade. But what if the story wasn't the whole truth? What if a trail of hidden clues, secret codes, and a mysterious set of emails proves the wolf of the Red Army is still out there? For years, the community has been piecing together a puzzle left by the developers at Treyarch. A puzzle suggesting Reznov's story didn't end in Vorkuta. And today, we're going to look at the evidence that will make you question everything you knew about the fate of Viktor Reznov. First, let's go over the official story. Viktor Reznov was a product of the Second World War. We meet him in the ruins of Stalingrad, a soldier fighting with a vengeance after Nazis killed his father, and alongside his friend Dmitry Petrenko, he fights his way to Berlin, becoming a symbol of Soviet resilience. But his patriotism was betrayed. After the war, his own commanders, Nikita Dragovich and Lev Kravchenko, conspired with the Nazi scientist Frederick Steiner against him. They murdered Dmitry with the chemical weapon Nova 6 and threw Reznov into the brutal Vorkuta gulag. And for almost 20 years, hatred was all he had. It was his driving, motivating factor. It's what kept him alive. Then, an American named Alex Mason showed up. In Mason, Reznov saw a weapon he could aim at the men who ruined his life. And during their prison time, Reznov systematically brainwashed Mason, twisting the original Soviet numbers programming into his own plan. Instead of being a sleeper agent sent to kill a president, Mason's new mission was burned into his mind with a simple mantra. Dragovich, Kravchenko, Steiner, all must die. The Vorkuta uprising on October 6, 1963 was their chance. It was a chaotic masterpiece led by Reznov himself, a multi-step plan, and at the last second, as Mason jumped onto a moving train to freedom, Reznov sacrificed himself. He drove his truck straight at the guards, making sure Mason could escape and carry out his revenge. The official story is pretty clear. Every time that Mason sees Reznov in the tunnels of Vietnam on Rebirth Island, it's a hallucination, it's a ghost in his mind, a manifestation of the brainwashing. This is confirmed by Jason Hudson during Mason's interrogation. Viktor Reznov had been dead for 5 years. He died at Vorkuta during the escape. The CIA file is closed. Is case closed? Or is it? The first thing that made fans question the official story comes years later, in 1986 during the events of Black Ops 2. Alex Mason, Frank Woods, and Jason Hudson are betrayed in Afghanistan and left to die in the desert. When all hope seems lost, a lone figure on a horse appears through the heat. He saves them, gives them water, and bandages. Woods later tells the story to Mason's son David, saying, "Who does your father think rides up on a horse to save us? Tricky Vic." Now, on the surface, this seems like another one of Mason's hallucinations. But there's a key difference. In every other hallucination of Reznov in Black Ops 1, you can hear the numbers broadcast in the background.
21, 10, 16, 23.
That sinister brainwashing sound is always there with the Phantom Reznov. But here, in the Afghanistan desert, there are no numbers. The audio is clean except for a lone guitar in the background.
So, we're in a desert buried, the year. Who does your father think rides up on a horse to save us?
Tricky Vic.
Yeah, see? You're just like your old man. No, it wasn't him.
Reznov.
Come on, if you think it was him, don't you think he would have stuck around for a bit, huh? Maybe explain some shit?
The story isn't also told from Mason's unreliable point of view. It's recounted by Frank Woods. Canonically, the event is explained as Mason's programming being re-triggered after seeing Kravchenko alive shortly before. Still, the unique nature of this encounter has fueled theories for years. Why would this one hallucination be so different? For those who believe it wasn't a ghost, this was a 73-year-old Reznov, saving his comrade before disappearing back into the shadows. Now, if Reznov did survive Vorkuta, how could he have stayed hidden for all these years? And the answer, according to one of the most popular theories, is buried in a hidden terminal in Black Ops 1. By breaking out of the interrogation chair, players can access a CIA computer full of files and emails. Here, a mysterious operative known only as John Trent emerges. Now, John Trent does not officially exist. His name appears nowhere else in the Call of Duty series. He is a ghost in the machine, sending cryptic emails to CIA handlers like Jason Hudson. And his messages sound eerily familiar, showing an intimate knowledge of Mason, Vorkuta, and Dragovich's plans. The theory goes that John Trent is an alias for Viktor Reznov. Having escaped Vorkuta, he supposedly infiltrated Western intelligence, using the CIA's own systems to guide Mason from the shadows. The emails contain phrases that echo Reznov's own words, and one email sent to President Kennedy a day before his assassination has the subject line, "Victory cannot be achieved without sacrifice," a direct quote from Reznov during the Vorkuta escape.
Victory cannot be achieved without sacrifice, Mason.
Another message from Mason reads, "Tell Mason one last thing. This time, it's freedom for both of us." A clear callback to Reznov's supposed final words to Alex Mason.
Your turn! Come on! Step 8, Reznov! Freedom! For you, Mason! Not for me! Reznov!
These messages suggest a story is running parallel to the campaign, one where Reznov wasn't just a voice in Mason's head, but an active player pulling the strings behind a keyboard. It suggests that Hudson's declaration of Reznov's death was factually correct, but the theory argues it could have been a convenient truth to protect a valuable, if very unstable, asset. What if Treyarch hinted that the official story was not so simple? This brings us to a fascinating Easter egg in the Black Ops 1 campaign. The loading screen for each mission has a series of phonetic alphabet letters and numbers. They look like random military jargon, but when the community decoded them, a hidden message appeared. Taking the first letter of each phonetic word reveals the sentence, "Reznov is dead." Seems pretty definitive, right? A clear statement from the creators. But it goes deeper. Those phonetic letters are accompanied by numbers. When you run those numbers through a cipher found in the game, the message continues, and the full text hidden across the campaign reads, "Reznov is dead." Or is he dead? There was no body. Is he who he says he is? This feels like more than just a clever Easter egg. It's almost a direct challenge from the developers. They not only acknowledge the ambiguity of his fate, there was no body, they actively encourage us to question the entire story. And that last part, is he who he says he is? Could be about Mason's perception of Reznov, or within the John Trent theory, but it could be a hint that Reznov adopted a new identity. This coded message is the ultimate proof that Reznov's fate was intentionally crafted from day one to be mysterious. However, finally, for years, the mystery had been a cornerstone of the Black Ops lore, and as the franchise continued well into the 2020s, Reznov's presence has lingered, even if his canonical story has not. And while there's no official in-story revival, his character is far from forgotten. Reznov returned in non-canon forms, as archetype in Black Ops 4, and most recently as a pre-order skin for Black Ops 7. These appearances, while not part of the main narrative, show that his legend endures, and the developers know how much the character means to the community. But, as of early 2026, the main storyline moved on. But one of the things that is the most intriguing was Call of Duty's most recent edition for the blog post of Black Ops 6 telling you about the story before the game. And when they're recounting the story in the blog post, they state that during the Vorkuta escape, Alex Mason and Viktor Reznov were separated. It doesn't say Viktor Reznov died, doesn't say Alex Mason got free. It says the two characters were separated. Now, the little word separated implies that Reznov didn't die. And as of early 2026, the main storyline has moved on, with the upcoming Call of Duty game being a Modern Warfare sequel making a canonical return for Reznov seems unlikely. Yet, every non-canon inclusion keeps the debate alive. Why bring back a character who is definitively dead in the story? Seems like Treyarch just enjoys fueling the legend, assuring that even without a new chapter, the question of what really happened at Vorkuta never truly goes away. So, is Viktor Reznov alive or dead? The official canon says he died a hero's death at Vorkuta. His later experiences are explained as ghosts of one man's vengeance burned into the mind of another. And the breadcrumbs left by developers tell a quite different tale. A mysterious appearance in Afghanistan without the usual audio triggers, a hidden identity named John Trent operating inside the CIA with very specific messages about Viktor Reznov and the numbers code, and a secret code that literally asks us to question if Reznov is truly dead. The fact is that he keeps appearing in non-canon roles like Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 7, showing his story was too good to let die. And Treyarch has created a perfect state of permanent mystery. Reznov exists in a quantum state. He is both dead and alive until we see a body or a character says they saw his body. The official story is the truth, and the conspiracy is the game. Now, I'm turning it over to you. What do you believe? Did Reznov die in that truck, a martyr for his cause, or is the wolf still out there, a ghost in the machine waiting for his next move? Tell me your theories in the comments down below, and until next time, I am IceBurgz. Stay frosty.